Hello everybody, back here on GT6 in my machine shop, and we have an update to do, and this is a very good update. This is the ore wash sluice update, because it's a sluice, not an ore washer. There will be no ore washer, because, I begged for one for 6 months, so it's got to be something else. Anyways, this is update 603.07. And for the changelog, first we have duranium and titanium support has been fixed. That is for Matter Overdrive, I do believe that adds them. If I'm remembering correctly, I know they're Star Trek ores, but or materials. So I do believe those are now available in some way, shape, or form. Let's look here. See, we got duranium alloy, elemental duranium, can make chests out of it and safes and all that funky stuff. But I don't see an ore. I see crushed ore, but I don't see an actual ore. So I'm guessing it's going to come as a byproduct of something else. And I haven't looked into it because I seriously doubt we're going to have it on here. But it's in there. Have at it. Let's see. Added the new printer manual. Can be created by inserting an empty vanilla book and a unit of chemical black dye into a printer. Oh, you can make a printer manual, but you can't make a hunting guide, and I can't make my filter guide that I need because I can't figure them out. Thanks, Greg. You're a great guy. I'm going to give him so much crap about that tomorrow. Added leather armor dyeing to the bath. That way we can make crazy all kinds of pink armor right here in this bathing pot. So should be in here somewhere. Let's look up leather armor, and it doesn't even show it in here. It doesn't show the recipe, but you're supposed to be able to do it. So you put in your chemical dye, and see, that's what I was wondering, because there's two different kinds of dye. There's a chemical dye, and there is the other dye, just the dye. So I'm gonna have to play around with that a little bit. Might have to do that tomorrow and see if I can figure that out. Let's see. Added dolomite ore, not dolomite, dolomite ore to the world gen. Its byproducts make it possible to get duranium. Oh, that's where you get the duranium and titanium. See, if you read this ahead of time, you'll know what you're talking about. And supposedly there's going to be more ores added to the world gen here in the upcoming updates, but none of them will be mandatory for production. So it's nothing that you will absolutely need a new world or generate new terrain to get. So it won't break your new worlds or your old worlds, which is good because this one's ancient. Let's see. Ordic prefix filter of the extender kind, just like the slot based one. Oh, this is the Ordic filter that was added. And I have not looked at this yet. I read about it, but I hadn't. Let's look at filter. There it is. Filter, item, or dictionary prefix. So, platinum item pipes, galvanized steel pipes, robust galvanized steel machine hull, your zinc foil, hammer wrench. And that makes it. It relays inventories, relays tanks, and I'm guessing it moves anything that is the same ordic to the same direction. Let's finish reading this here. It will also relay any fluids you pass through it without filtering, just for convenience. Okay, well, when I figure out the regular filters, maybe I'll figure that one out too. And now for the meats and potatoes of the update, we have a sluice. It cleans crushed ore. It is definitely not an ore washer, even though it washes ore. So we have a sluice, and it comes in 4 fruity flavors: bronze, steel, titanium, and tungsten steel. And it puts out this nice stuff called sluice juice. I wouldn't suggest drinking it. Probably doesn't taste very good. And this is your recipe. I've actually got the stuff ready to make this, so we're going to have to check that out. Let's see. The ore washer will totally never be added again. But we have a sluice, so yeah. Alright, so then next is a magnetic separator. You may remember this from Gregtech 5. It pulls things out of metallic ore, and it pulls metallic stuff out of other ores. So if you're needing a lot of iron, or you're needing a lot of byproducts from iron, specifically a certain one, you can run it through here. And the server just got restarted for the update, so we have all kinds of mobs around here. Namely, spider on the roof. So it comes in these 5 fruity flavors: aluminum, galvanized steel, stainless steel, chromium, and titanium. Okay, apparently that's 6 and I can't count. 1, 2, 3, that is 5. I can't count. Never mind. And it needs to have 1 magnet, unlike the magnetizer that needs 2. This only needs 1 on the top. And this is your recipe. Just takes a regular machine casing, 4 screws, 2 plates, and I got stuff to make it as well. And then we have the dryer, which is the other thing that you will use with your sluice. And this comes in the 4 heat flavors, which is steel, ingvar, titanium, and tungsten carbide. And it uses 4 bricks, 2 double copper plates, a pipe, and a machine casing. Same for every level, just changing the pipe and the casing. Alright, so the dryer basically is going to dry stuff. Mainly it's going to dry the sluice juice stuff, from what I understand. Now, I have not done any testing yet of this stuff, because as usual I wait until I make it here in the update or in a special video, if that's the way I choose to do it that time, and test it out with you guys so you can see what I did right and what I did wrong. More than likely what I did wrong. So I'm going to get this put together here, and we'll see if we can get it hooked up, or at least get it set up. And if we can't run it today, we will at least run it tomorrow. What am I doing wrong here? Motor. Motor. Oh, this is the robust one. I grabbed the regular one. That's what I did wrong. Alright, so there's that. And then I'm going to need a magnet for the magnetic separator, which will be like this, I thought. Let's look at it. LV. Oh, it needs wire cutters and wrench. Well, we can do that. There's our electromagnet. And now we need our separator, which should be just like this. And it needs wrench and screwdriver. So wrench and screwdriver. There's that. And now we'll put together a dryer, which should be this. And this. Oh, that's a dense. Ho ho. Alright, well, you just give me 1 second here. Do I have any copper plates? Nope. We'll make some. I just looked in the wrong box. Well, there ain't none up there either. Alright, so we'll get them done. Man, Crazy, you have got some spiders just loving you. They're just wanting all kinds of your butt. And let's see if... Careful if you go out there. There's all kinds of nasty things out there. All the villagers are burning up, though. I'll have to go out there and clean house when I get done. Alright, so that. Gotta get the double plate, which should be done. And it is. I still gotta change this Railcraft config so I can get rid of these ugly plates that I don't like. But I think it'll mess up Railcraft if I do, because I was looking at something today in Sky Factory, and they don't ordic their stuff. So I'll have to check into that. Alright, so there's our dryer. So we have a dryer, we have a sluice, magnetic separator, a heater, a motor. Oh, we don't have the heater. We need a heater for the dryer, which needs a robust... Oh, wait a minute. I used the robust. Oh, well, crap. Oh, I know where there's a heater I can borrow. It's right there. Alright, so let's bring these over here and take a look at this. We have our sluice, which is going to need energy in from the back. The items will go in the top or the left. They will go out the bottom or the right. Fluids in top or left. Fluids out bottom or right. And I'm guessing that because it says both, it's going to be one of those things where it'll want one or the other, but it'll prefer the first one. So I'm going to say that it's probably going to want water in the top and items in the side. But we'll check that out. So for right now, let's make, can I remember how to do this? There we go. So this is our bottom pipe that I'm going to set this on, and I'm going to put it here for now. This will go here, and then the water will come out the bottom. That'll be the sluice juice. The motor goes on the back. We'll have to put water on the top, so we'll have to run a water line to it. And wrench. Always keep your wrench on you. Don't leave it in the table. Alright, so hook up that. Turn that. And then you'll have your things on the side. And the nice thing is you've got 9 output slots here. And if you look at the recipes, you can put in your tiny crush in 9 at a time, or you can put the main one in there and you'll have your main output, but then you'll have 25% chance of getting any one of those things. So it'll be just like if you were hand washing it, basically. And then there's your sluice juice. Now the sluice juice you can either run through a dryer to get these tiny piles of sluice sand, or you can put it through a centrifuge, which will give you out your water. But the main nice thing about if you put it through the centrifuge is you get a 1% chance of copper, chromium, zinc, iron, and tin. So if you're having trouble finding a pyrolusite vein, you can get, or wait a minute, if you're finding a problem getting redstone vein, you can get your chromium this way. If you're having trouble getting tin, you can get at least some this way. Now with the dryer, you can make this loose sand dust, and you can run that through a magnetic separator, which will give you your tiny pile of stone dust, but then you get a 0.72% chance of 2 iron dust, neodymium dust, nickel dust, cobalt, and manganese. So there's where the pyrolusite comes in. If you're having trouble getting manganese, you can use this to do so. It is a very low chance, and it is only a tiny pile that you will get from it, but at least it's a place to get it if you're having issues. Now, while we're in here, you look at the magnetic separator, you can put magnetite in there, which will give you 11 tiny piles of magnetite dust and a 50% chance of getting 3 tiny piles of gold dust. And then you've got, bastentite, which will give you some neodymium, nickel, which will give you iron, which I always prefer to use nickel to try to get platinum the best as possible. But if you're running low on iron, you can always run that through there. Tin, which will give you iron, and so on and so forth. Anything that is either ferromagnetic itself or has a ferromagnetic byproduct, you can run through that. So there's the sluice set up in its gloriness. And I want to put a couple chests on here real quick just to make it exactly the way it needs to be. And while I'm getting these made, for anybody that hasn't heard yet, Junior and I have managed to hit 500 subs today while we were doing our Sky Factory live stream this morning. And we discussed it with folks from the group and came up with the idea that we're going to do a 500 subscriber 12-hour live stream tomorrow from here on the server. And we're going to hopefully get to set one of these up at our own base over in the new area. This is basically what it's going to look like. Hopefully I can keep Junior entertained long enough to keep him over there. And we may not be able to stay on the server for the whole 12 hours. We may end up having to go play something else, but at least most of the time that's where I want to be. Since that's where most of our subscribers have come from, is from Gregtech stuff, I want to do it here. So there's a magnetic separator. You're going to put your stuff in this side. It's going to come out this side. Magnet on the top. So only thing we have left is the dryer. I'm going to make my own little area for this, probably down in the basement again. The dryer is going to have the heater underneath it, and the juice is going to go in the top, and your items will come out the side. Now let me look at this, because this is going to put water out, right? Let's see. Item in left, item out right, fluid in. Oh, the fluid goes in the back, and because it's going to be hot, it's going to come out the top like steam. Okay, so your sluice juice is going to go in the back. Now, is there any other things we can dry? We can put grapes in here to make raisins of any kind of variety here, it looks like. Then obviously our sluice juice. So that's it. And Greg had to put his stinking raisins in there. Greg, I don't want your raisins in my dryer. Greg and his daggone raisins. Alright, so there's our 3 new machines. I'll get them hooked up and we'll check them out in another video. Don't want to make this one too awful long. Now I'm going to spend the next hour and a half sitting here just hugging and loving on this sluice. I'm so happy it's here finally. Now we just need a turbine. A way of making power from steam. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for helping us to get to 500 subs. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Leave them in the comments. Hit me on Twitter. Hit up Greg on his GT Dev or on IC2 forums. And have a great day.